Okay? And Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow Sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep Sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message.
Hey guys, it's your girl Onana, and this is Onana Nation. So if you're new here, a very special welcome to you. Please go ahead and subscribe as we dive into today's topic. So today I just watched the most ridiculous video ever on Facebook, and I thought to share that with you guys. So here is a professor addressing his students during a summit, and he is telling everybody that we have to do everything we can to make sure Africa stays down beneath us, below us. We have to do everything we can to keep Africa impoverished. We have to do everything we can to keep Africa poor. So you can see the mentality that people have out there. Like, it doesn't shock me because I know that this is how some people have been thinking for the longest time. I'm not shocked, but I'm just like bewildered at the fact that he can come out openly to say these things. These are discussions that people have maybe hiding in their closets and locker rooms, and then they're saying and covering their mouths out of fear that it shouldn't get out there. He had the nerve, the audacity to sit in front of a summit addressing people where there were cameras. Like, the level of I don't give a fuckery that this dude is at, that's what baffles me. He sat in front of all these cameras and was really voicing his mind 100%. Yes, we have to keep Africa poor for the betterment of the rest of the world. We have to keep Africa broke for the rest of everybody's sake. So Africa is like inconsequential here. They don't even care how they deal with us. I appreciate the fact that he acknowledges, he knows that there's natural resources in Africa. He's like, yeah, Africa is doing well. They have all the natural resources and everything, but we absolutely have to make sure that Africa stays poor, and that the people know. We have to keep blaming them that they are the reason why they are poor. So you can see a generation of people, an entire continent of over 54 countries. This is ridiculous. And over 1.2 billion people, you know, with all the natural resources we have, with everything we have. The issue is our mentality. The problem of Africa is Africa. It's not like we've never known all these things. We are rich. We have the natural resources. What is happening to Africa is the people, the leaders, the stupid deals they be signing with all these Western corporations and whatever civil society organizations and all those private companies. I don't know. So they're signing out all these natural resources to these people. They come into the country, hush hush, they wipe everything away. They go to all the cobalt mines, the ore mines, the bauxite mines, the gold mines and the diamond mines and the oil refineries. They get everything out, they extract it and take it back to their own countries, and then they like process it and begin to sell it back to us. So you can see how is this not a circle of stupidity? Like, when is this ever going to end? The African leaders are so evil. Most of them don't even care about the people, just as long as they can sign a certain part of the region. Look at DR Congo, for example. Congo is one of the richest country in the world, or was supposed to be. DR Congo was supposed to be the richest country, one of the richest countries in the world, because it has the largest, the largest diamond reserve in the world, the third largest mine for cobalt in the world, and these are vital ingredients that the world uses. All these cars, the companies that are producing smartphones, smart cars and all that stuff, they need all this cobalt to be able to run their company. So what do? They run to Africa and then they give the African leaders $100 million, $200 million, and the presidents are blinded by money. They sign away natural resources to them. So you see the companies moving back to Africa, creating offices and bases here and there, pop-up offices all over Africa, and they are extracting all these mineral resources and shipping back to their countries, using it to make the smartphones, using it to make the airplanes, using it to make whatever they need, using it to make the computers and all that stuff. And our people are remaining impoverished. When are we ever going to change? When are we ever going to stop? For a guy like this, for a dude like this to have the courage to come out here and say we have to do everything we can to keep Africa poor. I mean, this has always been the agenda of the world. We always knew. But for somebody to have the courage to put his face in front of the camera to say this nonsense, wow. ridiculous. So I believe this guy, I believe him 100% when he says that the agenda of certain Western nations is to make sure that Africa remains poor. I totally believe him. You know why? Because of the way things are going on in this world. They're doing everything to make sure Africa stays down there. Also, there's an agenda of fear that is being passed amongst African presidents. They try to make you feel like if an African president, you want to stand up for your people, you can be silenced, you can be terminated, you can be eliminated. See what happened to Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. Gaddafi was not a saint, don't get me wrong, but he also had a lot of good points for the continent. Gaddafi was really a hero for Africa, even though he had his own nasty things going on. But look at the bigger picture. Gaddafi created the African Investment Bank in Sirte, Libya. He also was propagating for the creation of African Monetary Fund to be based in Cameroon, which will replace the IMF and undermine the Western economy hegemony in Africa. So you know, as long as Africa keeps going back to IMF, the International Monetary Fund, to borrow money, they give us all kinds of terms and conditions that will keep us poor forever. That's how the loans will keep increasing and all that stuff, and we owe them. So even if they impose certain terms on us, we have no choice than to accept it. So Gaddafi was looking like, my people, our own not too much, our mumu not too much. We are so dependent on the West. We have to try to make these things happen for ourselves. So Gaddafi was really propagating for the creation of all this institution in Africa. He wanted to create like a state-of-the-art telecommunications satellite that's going to facilitate communication in Africa. He was really saying a lot of things, the African leaders to come together and contribute money, that he alone from Libya was to give about 70% of everything Africa needed to create this telecommunications satellite, and then other African nations together, all 54 of them, would come together and bring maybe 30% of the amount. That's what Gaddafi was proposing. And certain countries of the West were hearing like, this guy wants to be the liberator, he wants to be the one to help these people, their eyes to open. No, we'll not watch it happen. No. And that's how they silenced Muammar Gaddafi. So when they come into your country, they begin to propagate agendas like, your president is a dictator, your president is this. But Libyans were fine. Libyans were doing okay. If you look at the way Libyans were living a few years ago when Muammar Gaddafi was alive, the kids were going to school, no school fees, free primary education, free secondary education, free university education, and you were going to school, you had an allowance, the government was giving you money, everything was fine. But when the West comes into your country and they start telling you your president is evil, your president is that, they start arming militia, start giving guns to local boys and girls in the quartier, and you guys start fighting one another. What happens when you guys are fighting each other? As you're fighting your brother is fighting you, they pass behind you, they go and start mining your gold, mining your diamond and your ore and your bauxite. They go to all those mines and they mine everything, the oil refineries, they claim everything. So the West has been guilty of this for a very long time. They'll go to certain African countries, for example, look at DR Congo. See, the militias, they go there and give sophisticated weaponry to local militias. Small boys in the cartel will have guns and be plundering the neighborhood, breaking into people's homes, stealing and raping and all that stuff. Who is giving them those sophisticated guns? They don't have money to afford it, so somebody somewhere must be funding the war. And who is gaining when two people are fighting? When brothers are fighting brothers, the enemy comes and passes behind them to mine all their diamond and their gold. So if Africa does not wake up, I don't know when we're going to wake up. This new generation of Africans, if we don't change, I don't know what's going to happen. Our leaders are all evil. Yes, we accept that they are corrupt. They don't love us. As long as a Western government comes into the country and proposes a few $1 million to them, they take it and they sell their soul. They sell the whole nation out. They sell the whole natural resources. Just as long as they are fine, just as long as their kids are fine, and they have money in their accounts, there in Switzerland, they are fine. They are okay. So the solution for Africa, the way forward for Africa would be institutions. Even the president at the time, Barack Obama, when he was president, I think during his second term, he visited South Africa, he visited Kenya, and when he was giving his speeches, he said, Africa needs solid institutions. And you cannot even argue that the way forward is institutions. African institutions working for the people and not against them. Africa is a part of the United Nations. I don't know how UN is helping Africa, because when we need them, sometimes they're not there for us. Africa has the African Union, which is like a letterhead for me, an empty letterhead, a toothless bulldog. They don't do anything. When the people need them, they don't react. So I don't even know why we have African Union when it isn't doing much. It's just a group of presidents coming together, talking and laughing and getting money at the end of the day and going back home. They don't do nothing for the people, literally. So we need solutions. We need institutions that are going to work for the people and by us, governed by us, not taking funding from everywhere. Because as long as the UN is funding the African Union, as long as the African Union is getting money from the US, you will be doing the US agenda. You don't have a choice. As long as the African Union is getting money from France, from Belgium, you will be doing France and Belgium's will. You don't have a choice. They are funding your existence. So every time they give you money, it comes with conditions, it comes with clauses. So we need to come up with African institutions that will work for us. The African Bank, for example, like Gaddafi was suggesting, we need that each time we need money to borrow money, we go get it there at the African Monetary Fund, and that way they know that the interest rates are not going to be high, and then we can monitor and see the progress that the debt is being made. Because African leaders of today, they go to China, they go take 200 million, nobody's checking, nobody's seeing anything. They swipe all the money and they finish it, and then the country now owes China 200 million. But if you ask the regular Cameroonian that, have you seen even 5 francs, we don't know where it went to, but all we know is that our president took $200 million from China. In the space of 1 week, the money is gone. So we need accountability, we need good leaders, and then we need to not be swayed by public opinion or opinion from Western democracies. When they come into your country and start telling you your president is evil, kill your president. When you guys start fighting, look at the way Libya is today. Libya is almost a failed state. There's nobody that can govern Libya anymore. The country is almost a failed state. Why? Because they had a solid leader. They took him away and the country just plundered into chaos. Everybody has guns on the street of Libya. 12-year-olds, they have guns. 15 years old, they have guns. Nobody can control the nation anymore. It has gone out of control. There's no law in that country right now. So we need to come together as Africans and think the way forward. First of all, we need things like the African passport. Like they have the European Union passport, they have an EU passport that you take it, and when you're going from one European country to another, you don't even need a visa. We need that in Africa. We need an African Union passport that if I'm leaving Cameroon to Nigeria to Togo, Benin, or Ghana, I don't need any Ghana visa because I have an African passport. I just need to get the necessary authorization and I travel to Ghana. It's going to make trade easy. It's going to make transport and telecommunication and tourism and everything within the continent will be booming. Even the business sector will be booming. Once people can move freely amongst the various African countries, everything will be booming and the economy is going to be on a rise. So that's the first thing I need to do. Have an African passport that can permit us to move freely amongst African nations. Also, we need to have an African free trade deal. In a free trade zone, what happens is the fact that the amount of money you would normally impose on all imports is going to be reduced. For example, if we have an African free trade deal, when I'm importing a product from Ghana, from Togo, or from Benin, if they were to charge me 20 or 30% for my tariff, now that we are in the free trade zone, that will be reduced maybe to a meager percentage like 5%, and that way trade is going to be facilitated between African nations, and that way our economies grow exponentially. So a trade free zone is what we're trying to create in Africa, but some African nations are holding the deal back. I think 52 African nations have signed this trade deal, except Nigeria, except Eritrea, except Benin. So these 3 nations have not signed, but so far we have 52 nations on board, and that's not bad. We can start with that, and then maybe Nigeria, Eritrea, and Benin will join us later. So a free trade zone is also an important thing for us to come together as Africa, foster our economies together. So importing from fellow African countries is better. It booms the general African economy. It creates jobs, creates businesses. GDP is going to go up. Everything is going to increase, and per capita income. So you can see a lot of African countries like Benin ordering cement all the way from China. Meanwhile, we have Dangote only there in neighboring Nigeria producing cement. Can you picture for a moment the price of importing cement all the way from China, the transportation costs and all that stuff? Meanwhile, you can just import from your brother who is a couple of minutes away from you. So we're trying to create a free trade zone where Africans will interact freely with each other and the continent will grow together. We have to stop all this Western mentality, all this brainwashing and all these conditions and terms and clauses here. We have to work with each other. The problem of Africa has always been Africa. If we could come together, if we could realize these things together, work together as a brother, then there will be no stopping us. Africa is rich. We have the natural resources, we have the minerals, we have everything, we have the people. Africa alone has 1.2 billion people. The entire world, all the other continents included, have 7 billion people. Africa alone has 1.2 billion people. So we have the population, a strong youthful population. Some other countries have older people or an aging population. Africa has youths, that's dynamic youths, that if we can train them, give them the right education, give them the right career orientation, there's going to be no stopping us. Africa is going to go to the highest level. And you see all these people propagating agendas here and there that they want to keep Africa poor. They can only keep us poor as long as we let them do it. They can only keep us impoverished as long as we keep letting them get away with it. But if we stand up and say, no, enough is enough, we're not going to take that, we're not going to have that, you keep kick all these institutions out of your country, kick all these foreign institutions that are mining your gold and your diamonds, send them away from the country, and make sure you use the resources for the people and by the people to empower your own people. That's the way forward for Africa. So when I watched this video, I was really mad, and I thought to make this short reaction for us all. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I remain your girl Onana. If it is your first time on this channel and you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe, because you will absolutely love it here. And shout out to all my amazing subscribers. I appreciate you guys for all the love and support. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're new here, like and comment. Leave me comments in the comment section. I'll be reading all your comments, and let's talk about the topic. What do you feel about this professor having the nerve to come out here and say they have to do everything they can to keep Africa poor? When I saw that, I was like, what? Is it for real? Yeah. So let me know what you think about what the professor said, and let me know what you think about our reaction to this video. If you have any points to add, please don't forget to tell us down there in the comment section. If you have any things to say, any remark, any recommendation, just put it down in the comment section. I'll be reading and I'll be replying. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.
Africa, historically, sub-Saharan Africa, has been fundamental to the global prosperity of the advanced countries. Okay? And Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message. It doesn't mean to say that there's nothing Africans can do. Of course there is. Okay, but this is the opposition that they're fighting. This is what it's about. Because if Africa does do something different, I assure you living standards of all those in Europe and North America and Asia is going to fall. Okay? And that is a big price to pay. I assure you that the West is not going to allow that without a big fight. Okay, so this is what it's fundamentally about. What I want to show you is how these structures are operating. It's just 20 minutes, so we can't do very much, but just to give you a little bit of an idea. And why I keep the ideology part there is because we are part of the producers of ideology. At universities and academic institutions, we are complicit in this whole enterprise. Okay, so the job of many Western academics is to convince Africans they have to keep doing what they're doing. Okay, and to show them it's your fault that you're poor. It's not our fault. It's your fault that you're poor. You know, so this is what we do in academic institutions, and I want to show that as well.